Welcome to Chat Lab.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Evan.
This is the podcast where thoughts are tested and subjects are studied.
Alrighty. So, what are we starting with? I wanted to start with the fucking WhatsApp thing. So
The
yeah,
WhatsApp
so
thing?
yeah, so basically, right? Um, the person I'm working with, um, her husband got McDonald's for the kids and dropped it off to her, and I asked for McDonald's, today, and the answer I got back was no, because there's fucking pizza. It's pizza night tonight, right?
This is very exciting
But
content already.
I know, right? And
Riveting.
all we've been using to contact each other is gifts right now, and it's just a load of McDonald's. I sent one that says chicken nuggets is like my family, so I want McDonald's. It's basically what I'm saying, but I'm not getting it because because it's pizza night.
Let's
That's literally the story.
yeah, okay. Well, back to the more important thing at hand here. What the fuck did you send me? Is that Kanye
That's
West and Elon Musk? I will put an image on the screen, but what the fuck?
yeah, it's
That's Photoshop,
can't
right?
you? No, not at all.
Right, Elon
Um,
Musk got a
yeah,
bit of
because
got some tan hands. That's all I'm saying.
yeah,
Wait, is it face? Oh, it's swapped.
it's swapped and their heads are bigger.
I didn't notice it was swapped. I didn't look
We
at the
just thought Elon
hands.
got a body tan.
I didn't look at the hands. I was like, yo, he's wearing some sick kit. I rate it. No.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's Kanye's outfit.
Well,
I know. Well, this is our podcast.
yeah. Just
um, just made, just new.
yeah. There
Um,
was a reason for starting this though. It wasn't like a let's join the hype train podcast thing because the hype train left about 3 years ago. So I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of established podcasts out there, but we talk. We have 3 a.m. chats. Why not put it online?
yeah, that's basically it. We chat
Don't
shit
forget to
for hours at a time. Why
don't forget
not?
to follow us on Twitter at Chat Lab Podcast. Just saying. Quick plug.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. Like we have so many late 3 a.m. chats. Why not put it in a forum somewhere? Put it on the internet somewhere. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it happens so often because like what we just go down to the kitchen to get like toast or noodles or some
Or
shit
coffee.
or coffee, yeah, and we just
3
stay
a.m.
there for we go down like 1 or 2 and we might come up at like 3 or 4. It just happens every time. Like I think we did it at Greg's house once as well. We were at Greg's house and we went out for coffee, just us, and we stayed there for hours. And like it just happens every fucking time.
Yeah. So we thought we
Uh,
might as well just make that something that does happen every time, every week to be exact, and just put it somewhere because well, it's
exactly.
healthy conversation and it's not had often enough nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked in a long time. Like it took us a long time to even get on this to talk about the podcast because every
Yeah.
single second we wanted to talk, it was like one of us was busy, so it didn't really work out that well because I've been doing a lot of design recently, and then you've been chilling with your old girl,
Yeah.
so
Speaking of that,
not
actually,
old,
we
not
had
old,
something
not old
yesterday.
girl,
We had
but
something yesterday.
you had something.
We had a snack, right?
Was it me? Was it, I mean, okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah. Raw carrot with mustard.
No, 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 no. I saw
It's
that.
it's a snack. Like it is actually
Raw,
quality.
raw carrot and mustard.
hmm
No.
There's this trend going around TikTok, right? Well, it's more like this one fitness girl, she's like a hair salon beauty, whatever. She like goes into her car and eats food, eats her lunch, right? And she'd eat like broccoli, carrots, cauliflower, and then a cold baked sweet potato. So it's just like, oven baked, left cold, and she eats that raw. Like it's like she eats it unskinned or whatever. So she's been eating that with the mustard and shit, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking weird. And then I keep seeing all these TikToks of other people trying it, and I was like, okay, we just have to try it now. And we tried it, and I was like, dude, I didn't realize that like I never really have mustard, but I think there's like mustard and Big Mac or some shit. Cause I had the mustard and I was like, this shit tastes like a Big Mac. That's my
Yeah, I
only
think there
conclusion.
is. I think there's a bit of mustard in the Big Mac sauce.
But yeah, no, that's like I don't eat carrots on their own, nor does she. But it is I rate it. I rate it with the mustard. And
Yeah, I only eat carrots if they're like either raw or if you get like the grater and you like grate slices, like little
I
curled
just
up
don't,
slices.
man.
They're nice
Carrots don't taste
because they're.
nice, but the
But I do not like them cooked when they're like soft. That is the worst thing. Same with peppers. I'd rather eat a whole pepper raw than one cooked. It's just not for me.
But yeah, no,
I
I
don't
thought
like
I'd bring
cooked
that to
vegetables
attention
that
because
often.
I think a lot of people would hate that, but it might be something I start bringing to college for my
I'm
lunch.
oh, like Greg does with his rice and chicken.
Yeah, except I'd bring
Here's my mustard and carrots.
my vegetables and my mustard, and then I'd also have some sort of chicken thing going on because I want to actually start eating food, and that can be
I
addressed through
suppose.
mustard.
Do you ever have a peanut butter and um onion sandwich? No,
No,
no.
no,
Because apparently it's supposed to be really good. I don't like onions, unfortunately, but
I like onions and I think I like peanut butter, but like raw
PB and J, that's the
PB and
best
O
thing. Oh,
onion.
oh.
You fuck. I don't rate that. No, but we do actually have structure, believe it or not, to this podcast. We have some talking points to establish to anyone who's
We
listening.
do.
So, we actually have shit to cover. Well,
Okay,
you
so
know,
I think I'm just gonna ask the question. So just go off with one of them. So the question is, if you were to be a teacher, what subject would you study?
teach.
What?
What subject would you teach?
Yeah,
Oh, you said study.
shut up. Okay, so if you were a teacher, what subject would you teach? I have a couple pretty good ideas as to what I would teach.
Right, well, taking this. I didn't. I wrote these down last night because you talked about them, and I thought I'd think about them over the night. Didn't even look at my page until about 10 minutes ago. So I have. This
Okay.
is all my initial thinking here. A boring and like I don't know. I kind of be shit at anything but like maths. I feel like I could teach
Okay.
maths pretty okay, but I teach history for the crack. Yeah, I just love history,
Yeah.
dude. It's sick.
History is really interesting. Like that was I think when you especially when you know your stuff, like when you can just teach it like it's a story, that's amazing. Because I had a teacher who he wasn't very good at getting stuff done because he would just talk all class. But I loved it because some days if you were just a bit tired, and I had him in the morning sometimes, you could just sit back, relax, and just listen to this guy who had a fantastic beard and a fantastic voice just talk about history. And it was such a nice experience to do
Was it
that.
just
Like,
the stories you fancied, like?
yes, I can appreciate a man's beard,
All right.
but yeah, no. So I did like history for that matter. Like, but I wouldn't like reading it out of a book because one year the teacher was swapped, and I hated every second of it. He was he was a bad teacher anyways, but he worked from the book rather than from his mind, so it was really boring, and it wasn't fun then. But I don't think I'd teach history. I think if I was to teach something, it would be something maybe like English maybe because I find in class like when I'm in English, well not anymore, but when I was in English at least, um I found it really easy to decipher poems and decipher things that other people in the class weren't able to
Mm.
do as well. Sometimes, like
What kind of a
sometimes they would
teacher
come
would
out
you
with
be though?
gems. In what way?
Would you find yourself being more of an authoritarian, black and white thing? Like, what, like not what
Oh,
would you want to be? What would you be?
oh, okay. So I've always thought that I've thought of becoming a teacher a couple times.
Right. I
Um,
definitely have not. Just
because
to
no,
say.
because actually I did think about it for college. I was thinking, what if I went to become a teacher? And
Yeah.
there's a couple things is that at the start you're not given a lot of respect because you're a student teacher and it's kind of like, haha, I can get away with anything. And they just make the fun out of you. And I know a lot of teachers quit at that stage because the teachers ruin their lives because they're so easy.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so easy
Yeah.
to attack. But I think if I was let's say that didn't happen. Let's say I just had respect straight out the gate. Or not straight out the gate, obviously, but I wasn't attacked on personally as a student teacher.
Harassed.
Yeah, I would. I'd say I'd be one of those teachers that um, I'm able to make jokes. I'm like I'm up to date with the jokes in the class and with the people, but at the same time, when I say that work needs to be done, it can be done. Because I had I my Irish teacher, he was he's a fantastic person. He's just super chill, super relaxed, and he's always making jokes because he's like one of the boys, you know. But then when he's mad or when he needs stuff to be done, he switches to that and he kind of just gets the ball rolling and people listen because they respect him for his, I suppose, relatability.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'd want to be a teacher like that.
I'm not cut out to be a teacher. I don't have the qualities for it. I get way too angry when someone is being, uh, just downright clueless, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can get frustrated when people don't like understand something, and I'm like, why are you in this class? I would get that too, and sometimes I would get the whole
I do
why
not hold the patience to be a teacher.
I would be
Definitely not.
like, why isn't this person listeing to me? And then I'd get
Oh,
either
I'd
mad
also
or
deep it. Yeah,
embarrassed.
I deep the students way too much. I'd be like, you're not listening to me, so like, fuck you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just not.
I wouldn't if I would probably find it hard like mentally, but like being the teacher, I wouldn't be the teacher that's like, shut up and do your work. No talking, all this. I wouldn't get kids in
Yeah.
trouble every single day because I find it fun. I wouldn't do that. I'd try to get on their level a little bit, but still have the authority.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say like I don't like teaching people things, because if I learn something and someone doesn't needs help understanding it, I can help them understand that. But becoming a teacher would mean you'd have to teach people that don't want to be taught, and I'm
Yeah.
not cut out for that kind of patience.
I mean, I was thinking of primary school too because that would be kind of that would be
Oh
kind of
yeah,
cool
that's just
because
babysitting with extra steps, though, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the only problem with that is you need to know everything. Then you can't specialize in two subjects you
I'd
or one
rather be a
subject.
lecturer if I was going to be a teacher, because I can give
Um.
my knowledge and help people that want it, and don't give a shit if they don't want the help. It's very
Yeah.
easy in that sense.
Yeah.
Complex topics they need to talk about, but I don't need to babysit. And even in secondary school, that's the case.
Yeah. Like once you get to college, it's kind of that you're on your own. If you don't do it, it's your own fault. Like I'm not gonna hold your hand through it type thing. So, I guess being a lecturer would be better for that. But I think it would be easier to control. Technically, sometimes it would be easier to control kids because they scare easier and they're not as feisty.
They're scary
Like
easier.
like controlling second years or first years is impossible because they think they're the best because they've just come from a school where they're the top dogs. And they come into the school and they're all feisty and rah, and you'd like tell them shut up and they're
They're
like,
also like peak
"I'll
puberty.
beat
So
ya."
yeah,
Huh?
they're also like peak puberty hormonally. So
Yeah, that true. That true.
that's true.
Um,
I
but they're all
concur.
tiny. They've all gotten smaller, and I hate it. It's weird. They all are smaller. You get a couple ones that are sprouting up a bit more, but every single first year is small. And I asked one of the teachers one day, actually, history teacher with the beard, I was like, "You haven't grown since I've gotten here, right?
You asked the
Are
teacher that.
they?"
Oh, right. No, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and I went, "Are the first years getting smaller? Because I don't know if I'm getting bigger or if they're getting smaller." And and he was like, "No, yeah." they're definitely smaller than they once were because every year they get smaller. And I was like, I
Wonder
knew
why
it,
that is
I
though.
knew it.
They're all hunched
I
over
don't
playing
know.
the latest Fortnite season.
And the girls aren't changing either,
What do you
so
mean?
it's just the guys.
Oh
The
right.
girls seem to be same size, so it's literally just the guys that are getting smaller. I don't know what that's about.
Y'all just got weak sperm. Simple as.
Yeah, everybody in Cork.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
um.
no,
Yeah.
I'd say I would go for English, but
Oh
because
right, wrapping back. Okay, yeah.
yeah, we're wrapping back. I would go for English because I would find it easiest to do, but I would prefer the poetry side of it and the texts, as in like writing stuff up rather than the text meaning Hamlet. Like I wouldn't like to do Hamlet and plays and all that. I hate that stuff. I like everything but that. I like the books. I like doing poetry.
Does it
I
have to
like
be a secondary school teacher?
what you mean.
For argument's sake, like, if you were to be a teacher, would you be a secondary school teacher, or would you be, let's say, a primary school one or a college lecturer?
Um,
Is it either or?
I It's kind of any of them really. I think
Right.
if it was secondary, it would be English. If it was primary, you kind of have to do all of them.
Yeah.
So
No, I just
yeah,
meant if
and
I was to choose, I'd
lecture.
probably like to do something like mathematics in college as a lecturer, but having
Oh,
to
yeah.
choose secondary school, I pick history.
Yeah, I think college. I don't know what I'd pick to teach because I'm not really specialized in anything. Um, if it was secondary school, I'd teach English. I'd say because I don't really know anything
Yeah.
else that well. Although biology, I might do biology because that I really enjoyed that too.
Science and
Um,
that.
yeah, it's just not as captivating as English.
No,
I
actually,
find
because if I
English,
was going to be a secondary school teacher, I'd rather not like. I'd rather just get invested in history as a story or something, rather than
yeah, and you can do similar with English. You can tell it
yeah.
as a story,
Whereas when you're studying a
and
science, you're just going to
yeah,
be chewing out, spitting out the same shit over and over again, but you can't make it a story. Can't make Newton's
yeah,
physics something to get re-interested in every year.
yeah. Like it wouldn't like the only fun part about biology, like really fun part, is either for me, anyways. A good part of it was the teacher because the teacher I had was amazing, but also, like he was just a top guy. He was a really good, top notch guy. But
Yeah,
also the like for everybody, like as a general term or general rule, I guess. The experiments are just the only fun part because you get to fuck about with science, which can be fun to people. You get to cut open hearts.
yeah,
Um, I one of the guys I was with from in my group started fingering the fucking heart.
yeah. There's always one every year.
Yeah, he was like, ugh, and he like put it on his foot at one point. He like flicked it up and caught it with his finger, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like learning through like school and different ways of learning, I've actually recently changed the way that I'm trying to learn Polish because
Like as in changing from Duolingo.
yeah. So to cover all bases, I started learning Polish via Duolingo and just going through it linearly, learning the vocab, trying to learn the grammar, and it just got to a certain point where I was just doing it to get another day on a streak. I wasn't enjoying it, and it was hard because, well, you're never taught a language from its grammar up anyway. So I never found it to be useful
Yeah,
and interesting. Like it wasn't easy to learn that way.
I would I would recommend Skillshare for that
Mm.
because they teach it more like you would teach a language rather than just teaching you grammar and nouns straight out the gate. That like the dog likes water. Like they'll actually give you proper sentences that you could say.
Yeah,
Like I know how to say like um that's fantastic or something in in Portuguese just by watching like 2 episodes of a Skillshare like class.
yeah, I get that. And what I've done, because I watched this video of this Russian guy, or he wasn't Russian, he's not Russian, I think he's British, and he lives in Russia and he's walking around and he's talking about how you want to learn how to converse in Russian. And he said that he just learned the grammar, like by the not the grammar, sorry, anything, everything except the grammar he learned. So he learned like the vocabulary and the verbs and stuff because he said when you're talking to someone in a different language, what is the main thing that causes a blockage in communication? Like, is it the way you say something, or is it you can't find the word, or they don't, you don't know the word? It's always the words. It's never he said that wrong. Especially, this is true in an example is if you meet someone that lives, I don't know, let's say here, and they come from Russia or Poland or Slovakia or whatever, and their first language is in English, you can tell that they're grammatically incorrect a lot of the time.
Yeah,
But
but you still
they get
understand.
their point across, and you don't care that they're grammatically
Yeah,
incorrect. So it's not like I'm learning Polish to teach it. I just want to learn it to be able to,
yeah.
you know.
I saw this guy actually as well. He was learning Portuguese in like a certain amount of days. It was really short, like as in it would be really hard, especially because Portuguese is a really hard language. And he had this method where he wanted to just be able to converse in Portuguese. So he took, I know one of the methods he took was he he got all the words that he uses in English on a day-to-day basis and then translated them and learned them off so that he would know the words to use when he wanted to say something that he would usually say. And then he went through a couple different methods for each part of the language. But at the end he talked to two friends who one is Brazilian and one is Portuguese, and obviously they speak the same language. Like so, he tried his hand at both of them, and it seemed to work fine. And like it was just amazing to see how fast he learned it. Like
Mm, yeah.
I definitely couldn't do that.
No, I'm not that quick at learning, really. So what I've decided to do is I made a list in my notes of core verbs that I need to conjugate out for just the present tense at the moment, and I'm going to learn those and go down through those.
Yeah, oh, I hate that about languages is that
Yeah,
like you can't
it's
you can't just learn a verb. You have to learn every single part of it. But in English, we never had to do that because it wasn't
English
even
is
second
very
nature. It was
irregular in
first
that
nature.
fact. I
Huh?
guess English is very irregular when it comes to that. But it
It
would be
is.
easy to pick up a conjugation anyway. And second, I'm going to be learning things like colors of the rainbow, things that you'd learn when you're learning French in first year or something. That kind of way. Counts
Or
one to
English as a
10.
toddler.
Yeah, you kind of work through it that way, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm slowly going to build up a vocabulary library and be able to, because the verbs, you know, they won't be that hard to learn, and especially if I'm immersing myself, because I know I currently speak to more Polish people than I do Irish, so I
You
can just,
do?
I mean, yeah, I talk to Kuba, Matthew, and Julia, and I talk to you.
I suppose.
I mean, I do talk to Zoran here and there, and sometimes yeah, but like I haven't been really talking to them that recently.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's I just wanted to mention that because that's how you should learn a language, really. Because like you didn't learn English. How did you learn English? If you think about it that way, you learned English by being around people that spoke English. You didn't sit down and learn
Yeah.
the grammatical constructs. You learn what you held. Let's say you held up an orange, and you were like going, and your mother went, "That's an orange," and you went, "Orange," and that's it, and then you know it. You learn
Yeah.
it like that. You learn as you go. You roll with the punches, kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. And then as you progress, you kind of learn one word. Like I remember I used to say like coinkydink or something for coincidence. Like as an I couldn't say it right. I couldn't say it at all. And I barely even knew what it really was. And
Yeah,
then my mom was like, say co, in, and then so on. And then I learned it. And it just stuck with me because, like, yes, I was like 5 or something, but I didn't learn it. Maybe I wasn't 5. That's a bit of a big word for a 5-year-old. Is it? Is it? I don't know.
Uh, no, not. I mean, can be.
Oh,
I
no,
don't know.
I think yeah, no, I definitely was like 4 or 5 or something like that.
You don't have
And
to know what it means to pronounce it. Like,
yeah, and I was taught that word, but like it wasn't one of the first things I learned. It was just by being around English speaking people that I ended up picking it up. and now I
Yeah.
know it. And it just works that way.
So I'm going off a how would you say casual immersion rather than a formal learning routine, I guess.
Yeah. And the one thing I hated about Duolingo as well is it's just you are told to answer these things, and it can be the same, pretty much the same sentence. I know it's not exactly, but it's pretty much just the same phrases and sentences over and over and over again. And they are just phrases that you say. The dog likes water, but you're never gonna like that. You're never gonna use that. Or the dog drinks water,
Yeah, I mean to be fair, it
but
made
like
me
you're never
like
gonna say that.
for like let's say to like I learned a lot of vocabulary and I learned some verbs from Duolingo. It did it right. It's just as it progressed, it started doing okay, we're going to do plurals now and only plurals. And I'm like, no, I'd rather just do learn a new verb with a bunch
Yeah.
of vocabulary. And if I could do
And
that
the problem,
forever, I'd
yeah,
love Duolingo for that because it's easier that way. But I can't because because that's how a computer has to teach you it, I guess.
yeah, and the problem is that if you skip, if you try to skip, you'll miss out on important things that Duolingo thinks you should know, but realistically you don't want to know, so you can't really skip. Because
Yeah,
then
you can't like, but
you'll
let's
get a word for
say
dog, and you can't write dog because you don't know what dog is.
mm, they'll randomly throw random things in. Like, let's say if I skip the whole thing on plurals because I didn't want it, maybe halfway through they introduce a new verb
Yeah,
that is useful, but I still have to sift through that
yeah.
shite.
Sometimes there's at least one or two words or like a tiny phrase or something that's really useful, and I'll try to remember that. But the rest of it, I'm like, I don't care about the dog in the water. Like, I want to know this thing. This thing's cool. I
Yeah.
want to know more of this because I can actually put that in a sentence later on. But I know my mom has a problem with knowing all the words but not being able to put it into a sentence.
Uh,
That was always her problem with French. But like when I tried to, you know, to
I'm
really
not
try
bad
it
with
with
structuring
French,
sentences, to be honest.
yeah, but like with French, I tried to learn it with Duolingo. I was like, maybe this will help me because I'm really bad at French. And I was learning it, and then when I went into class, it actually helped in class because I was around French speaking people.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
You
you
know?
need to take in those shitty examples, and be confused by them. So when you're reintroduced to it like it's brand new, you'll take what you know from that and try and piece it together till it makes sense. That's how a lot of learning works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, not to drag that on, I think we should talk about. I'm just gonna bring up sleeping positions. So change course on what we
Okay.
were talking about, but
Complete change of course. Okay.
I just thought I'd bring this up because, well, I used to only sleep on my side with one leg.
Which side?
That didn't matter. That depended on how comfy I was.
Ah,
But
okay.
I'd only sleep on my side. I put one arm like in under the pillow and have that extended, and then I'd have like one leg, the leg on top. I guess would be like pull. It was like a very specific thing.
I think
And
I sleep very similar to you.
recently, I just started sleeping on my back as well. And sometimes it was like because I'm
No,
exhausted, but other times I'd just be like chilling.
I couldn't do that. No, well, like the way I sleep is I don't care which side either. And majority of the time, I put whichever shoulder I'm on, that arm goes under the pillow,
Yeah.
and I make like a V shape with my arm,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other arm just kind of does whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm hot as well, definitely sometimes I'll have one leg kind of half in, half out the duvet.
Yeah. I
Um,
think that's a very
and
common sleeping position.
same goes on the other side. Um, but I have this thing. Um, you know Mini Lad, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was watching a video one day, and he went, "Do you want me to break you forever?" And I was watching it, and I was like, "What? What?" He goes, "You will not be able to fall asleep until you turn over at least once." And I was like, "Huh?" And it's actually true for me because I unless I'm really tired or drunk, I will have to swap over. And I've been having a lot of trouble falling asleep recently. Like one night, it took me an hour to fall asleep because I have the sleep tracking app on the Apple Watch. So then when I checked it the next morning, it said that it took me like over an hour to fall asleep. Um, like
Mad.
my brain just goes, and it takes me forever. I do find listening to podcasts actually calms me
It's very
because and
helpful.
calms
I,
my
I, I
thoughts.
always fall asleep before I can turn it off, though.
I you turn on a sleep timer on Spotify.
You
There's
can
a
do
sleep timer
that.
at the bottom right. Yeah,
No
it's
way.
I turn on 30 minutes and I just fall asleep. Sometimes it ends before while I'm still awake, which is really bad. That means it took me 30 minutes already to fall asleep and I'm still not asleep. But I just leave it because I'm so relaxed now and I have the podcast in my head instead of my own head in my head.
Yeah,
So
very relatable.
focusing on their stories makes it so that I can't make up my own stuff, which means it doesn't continue to happen. It just while I'm listening, all I can think about is what they're saying in that moment. So it kind of just drowns out any other thoughts for me. So it's easy for me to just relax. So I've been doing a lot recently, actually, in the past couple months. I don't know whether it's lockdown that's doing it to me or what,
I
but
think some some form of playing in that.
yeah,
Because
um,
when you're in lockdown as well, you won't don't really have a routine to go through.
yeah, and I mean the sleep tracking app is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I know watch OS 7, I think, or 6 is coming out soon. WatchOS 7 is coming out soon, yeah. And it comes with a sleep tracking thing now, but the one I have, I think it gives you a lot more info. I'll open it up there and I'll just go through. Let's say I'll go through my last night of sleep. So, I'll open it up here now. So I got a total score of 717. I think that's out of um I think it's out of 1,000.
Right.
Um, I got 8 hours and 15 minutes.
Jeez.
It took me 32 minutes to fall asleep. It gives you when you are having light sleep, restful sleep, or
REM
if you
sleep.
get disrupted.
All right.
It doesn't. I don't think it gives you REM, unfortunately. But I'm assuming restful might be REM or it's deep. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it gives you my heartbeat average. It was 66 average all night. It tells you if you've got disrupted or whatever. When you wake up, you answer a question if you feel completely rested, somewhat rested, or not rested at all. And you can also answer fatigueness. So if you feel tired after 4 hours after you wake
Hmm.
up, you answer it.
Actually, answering a questionnaire
Um,
just remind me. I must say that if you are in Ireland, please download the COVID-19 tracker and tell the company whether you have or haven't COVID. Because data helps flatten the curve. Thank you. I just wanted to plug that because it's not mine, but it's needed.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I just thought this was a really good app. It is. It's like four something a
No, I'd
month,
love that. Yeah, I just need an
four
Apple
fifty a month,
Watch.
but
So,
it works great. I've been getting around 600 score for the rest of this week that happened. So that's not great, but
oh, yeah.
there was the what was it? I think it was the first night I used it. Yeah, first night I used it was Tuesday the 30th of June. Got a score of 853, 8 hours 20 minutes sleep, and
How
I
do you
got
sleep that
36
long? I
minutes to
couldn't
fall
sleep that
asleep.
long, I don't think.
Because what happens is I stay up really late, but then I sleep in until like 12. So
Yeah.
like I stay up till like 2 maybe,
I'm really
or it
trying
takes
to
me
get
that long to
my
fall
sleep
asleep.
schedule back on track,
Yeah.
which actually
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
here it
ties
is.
into having a routine, I guess.
Oh, it actually tells me what time because you click I'm going to sleep. So it's always like 2:10, 2:30, 2:15. This one was an hour and 3 minutes on the 2nd of July. Nine
Damn.
hours, 45 minutes sleep though. But I got bad sleep. I got around 600 sleep or score. And there was a bit of disruption. But yeah. Where's this one? 4:05 a.m. to 1:30. It
I
took me
think
30
think
minutes
not
to
being
fall
able to
asleep.
sleep might have something to do with the time in which you're sleeping.
Yeah, it probably is a little bit because I probably go past when I'm tired, so then
Yeah.
I get my energy back. But as well as that, like sometimes it takes me. It's not only that I press go to sleep, but it takes me time to fall asleep. So I might go to bed at like 1, but I won't be asleep till half 1 to 2 o'clock because it just doesn't work. And if I try to go to bed earlier because I'm not used to it, it takes me a while as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, I
yeah,
mean, having a routine can be very like
yeah.
very helpful getting some sleep done, actually doing things,
Yeah.
getting dressed in the
Actually,
morning. As I sit here in my jammies, getting dressed in the morning
do
can
you
help you a lot.
why do you sleep on your back?
I don't exclusively sleep on my back, but I've no, it's been an option a couple of times recently.
And do you wake up like straight still? Not like
No, I'm pretty sure
do you
June is
wake up as
over.
in
It's
like
fine.
with your
Um,
back still on the bed like?
no,
Yeah, I don't
but
understand people that just like go to bed like a mummy and wake up and like I just don't get that.
yeah, no, I couldn't. Like I move a lot in my sleep, but I found that I can't start sleeping in on my back because, well, I don't know really.
Yeah. I find it hard to fall asleep on my back. I don't find it as comfy as like on the sides. When I was
Yeah.
younger, I used to wake up with my face in the pillow and my ass in the air. That happened a couple times. When I was younger, that's when I have like a really, I'm assuming a really good night's sleep, and I'm just like conked out, and I just move a lot. But I know sometimes I do get that. Do you get this as well? Like where you're awake and you're answering things, but you're not awake.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, cause I've been
Yes.
I've been screamed at to get up. Not screamed at, but like, you know,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
first time hearing it is me getting yelled at for to get up, and I'm like, why are you shouting? And it's like, I've asked you like 10 times. I'm like, this is the first time I heard it. They're like, you answered me. I was like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I
One
might have
time
in
I
my sleep
sat
gone,
up in my bed and started laughing, and then went back to sleep.
how do you know this?
I was told that happened.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Right. I would not want to be the other person in that room.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
that's it.
Terrifying stuff.
You need an exorcism. That's it.
Sometimes when I go into my brother's room to wake him up in the morning, he's awake. No, he's not awake. He's asleep, sitting up.
Do you think he sat up and then fell back asleep?
No, I think he did it in his
He
sleep. He got his ass
yeah,
to the backboard and was sitting up. Oh,
that's
it's
weird.
he's weird for sleeping. He'll be talking about anything and everything. I guess
Yeah, no,
I don't know why people talk in their sleep though. I don't know.
I think it's just a dream thing. Even if you don't have a dream, subconsciously you might be or something, and they're just like talking.
Yeah.
Because I know I had a dream once where I went down a water slide on like a ring, and it was a really big water slide. And the second I went down it, I jumped up in my sleep, like as in I jumped awake.
Do you ever feel like
Do you
you're
know,
peeing in your dream? Like full on, you feel
I
like you're
think when I
having a
was
whiz.
younger, I did it a lot more. Yeah, but I have actually recently, like not recently, but in the last couple of years, I think there's one time
Yeah, I don't
where I
do it
was having a
often,
dream.
but it's happened.
I was having a dream where I was pissing, and when I woke up, I really needed to piss, and I was like about to. So I was
Oh,
very close. I was very close, but I
yeah,
didn't.
no, I woke up, it was fine, but I woke up in a hurry because I thought I pissed the bed because it was one of those things where it's like, damn, I'm peeing, this feels good, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I'm dreaming. Wait, that means I'm in bed, and I woke up and looked and it was like, nothing there. It's like, ah, it's chill, it's chill.
Yeah. No, I hate. Oh, another thing I hate is So I've had this happen a couple times where you're so cozy wearing a jumper and pants, like as in thick like jogger pants, and you're in bed and you fall asleep and you wake up in it in like you wake up drenched because I I overheat when I sleep. Like I really do. Like I can't
Do
really
you not
go to
sleep
sleep.
naked?
I sleep underwear and t-shirt,
No,
but like
no, no, no. You
if
have to
I
try
wear
it. This
pants,
is this isn't the life pro tip of the
oh
podcast, right?
no, I've done it. I've done it sometimes.
This just
Yes,
goes
I
out to
have.
everyone that if you haven't, try it because it's so
It's
comfortable.
good.
You
It's
won't
good. Like
overheat. It's
after a
perfect.
shower, it's really good because you're like smooth. And if you have new bed sheets, it's even better.
What?
If you have new bed sheets and you've had a
I
shower,
thought you shave or something. Why are you smooth?
sleeping naked is really good. No, as in it's not necessarily that you shaved, like, but I'm saying if you don't, even if you don't shave, it just feels smooth.
Okay.
I don't know why, because I think it's just and it's kind of like a refreshing cold because your thing,
Warm
your,
from the
what are
shower,
they
right?
called? Your warm shower and your cold bed sheets. It's like a nice, oh, especially when it's like summer.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if
It's
I
just
even if I have pants on, I could wake up in a sweat, and it's the worst thing ever because you're just like, why? And I know sometimes I've been really comfy with loads of clothes on, and I go, I really should take this off because I'm gonna be
I
roasting
don't
in the
take it
morning.
off when I have like a hoodie on and I'm in bed and I don't really sweat that much when I sleep anyway, and I would wake up probably like sweaty, but it's worth it just because of when I get that sleep. It's like usually the best sleep. I don't know why. It's like when you're really really warm
Yeah,
and cozy.
I've gotten it sometimes in the winter because in the winter I sometimes I do wear a
I
jumper
had
and
it there
pants to
about
bed.
5 days ago. I was in the bed. I had all my clothes on normally. I was just in the bed watching something on the telly, and I was like about to fall asleep, and I was like, "This is perfect." And then I remembered I had to put my retainer in and I have to brush my teeth.
Oh,
So
fun.
when I got up, brushed my teeth, you know, put my retainer in, and then I got back to bed and then fall asleep for like 3 hours. It sucked. So close to like the best sleep of my life.
Yeah, I I used to go. Remember we used to go. I brought you one time the gymnasium or not? It's not a
Yeah, yeah,
gymnasium.
yeah.
Gymnastics
For
place
the gym, yeah.
for we used to do parkour there and stuff. And whenever I went, because it was so dusty there, like when you fell into the pit,
Hmm.
um, but just dust from the ceiling and everything, and it sticks to these pads, and it gets in your throat, and then your breathing's a bit hard because you've been having dust in your throat, and you don't smell great because it's the dust mixed with just the sweatiness probably of the foam blocks and the sweatiness of you from running around all the time. So you get home, I would have a shower, and then I'd get into bed with big jumper, lovely cozy pants, and I get into bed, and it would be perfect. This was like winter time. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was
I
just
need to
such a
sleep like
nice
that
feeling.
again.
Yeah, I really do because I've just been having a lot of trouble, and I've tried a couple
I think a
things.
lot of people have been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and that's just down to routine with COVID. I really
Yeah,
think it
and I
is.
think it's also down to the fact that I do nothing all day. So
No,
then when
no,
it
yeah,
comes to the end of the day,
which is
I
yeah,
haven't done anything.
which is
Like
part of
whereas
it.
if I was out, I'd be walking around all day, or I'd be walking around halls, or I'd be walking around doing this. But because I'm not even doing that, like
It's not even that you're physically exhausted. You're not mentally exhausted. You do nothing but
yeah,
consume all day.
I'm neither physically nor mentally exhausted because yeah, I just watch stuff. I do get up every now and then to make sure that I'm not like destroying myself.
Yeah.
And I went for a cycle, but it's been so long. I didn't know my capabilities, and I went really hard up and down. I did like nearly 4 kilometers or something, but I did it really quickly because I didn't really understand how my body was now, and I got back and I like couldn't breathe and I was roasting and it was just horrible because
Mm.
I went really hard.
You went
Um,
too fast. Yeah.
yeah, I went too fast and like yeah, going up the hills, you kind of have to go a bit fast, but like I was going fast up, and it was kind of getting to me
Now
when I
you have to
stopped.
know
And
your pace. I
yeah,
guess. Yeah.
I haven't been able to go to the gym in so long that I just like I was ruined, and I don't go cycling either. So I rarely go cycling. Whenever I do cardio, it's running really
Yeah. I'm very
or
excited
walking.
for the gyms to normally back open because the gym is now open, but you need to
Yeah,
book a session, and you can only go 3 days a week. You can only book a session 3 days of the week.
yeah, that would suck because
So
you need to like pre-plan everything.
yeah, and I don't even have a membership there. You see, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I'd say you're better off just waiting, honestly.
I know, and well, I had wrote down a talking point of the difference with having a routine and COVID, and obviously the difference is having a routine makes all the better. But I wrote that when I had a routine.
Yeah, I tried it, but it didn't work. I even downloaded an app, and I was like, "This will work," and it didn't work.
It's just because of life,
And
though. Like
The Apple Watch is giving me notifications every day to do this. Go go do your 30 minutes exercise, hydrate, go do this, go do that, and I'm like, bro, I just look at it and like, okay, I'm in the middle of something, I'm working, can I do it later? You know, like I just ignore it.
It's just life, though. I mean,
Um,
you have to be some kind of machine to do everything without ever switching it up.
yeah, I don't understand the people that are able to do it and are happy doing it,
Greg
and
is very good at
also
doing it.
also have a life though. Not saying that Greg.
Oh,
I had that in my head before you said Greg.
I know you did.
But like, because there are a lot of people that are happy and have a life doing it, but I just don't understand that. Like, it would be
You can have a
exhausting.
life doing a routine. It's not
Well,
that
yeah, but I
difficult.
when I say have a life, I mean like be happy with their life
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
and
I get you.
also like just be happy in general and not be exhausted 24/7. Because if I went, okay, tomorrow I'm doing a full
I suppose get used to it.
routine where I'm gonna do all this, yeah, I guess.
He's just
But
like he's gotten used to it, but he also doesn't break it, which just amazes me. I don't. I just couldn't. I can't. I don't know. I think it's partially down to working out at home sucks.
mm,
I don't like it.
I find I have a lot less motivation at home. If my arms start hurting, I'm like, okay, I don't really want to do this anymore.
It just well, it doesn't feel good. I don't have the weights to do it. Like I have
Yeah,
weights,
I
but
don't.
I
I
don't
don't
have.
have. I yeah, same.
Like I
I don't
primarily
have
went
good
to the gym
weights.
to try and lift like the weights that were the heaviest I can lift them. Not to lift heavy weights, but like to get the feeling of building strength and having a pump. Whereas now I'd have to do
Yeah,
about 45 reps to get the same feeling, and it's just it doesn't even give you the same feeling. It just works it out the same.
yeah. I just find it really hard to continue when I start. Like my weights aren't like the worst in the world, but they're not great. They're not gym type weights.
Mine just aren't heavy.
Like I I use them, um, but then like if my arms are like getting a bit sore or whatever, like
You've
I'm
no
in my
drive to
room
keep going.
and I can literally just be like, my computer's right there. I could just drop this and keep going on my computer. There's no real reason for me to keep going because it's not like if I stop, I have to wait for my ride to go home. I can just
It's not even that. You're just in the wrong environment.
yeah, that too. Like
It can really
there's
help when you go to a gym, you see other people lifting weights, and you're in a place that smells like what you associate with working out, because it's just fucking sweaty, like loud
oh
music
yeah
playing in your ears. It's a whole thing. Whereas when you do that at home, you can still put on the gear, put in your earphones, blast the music, but you're still at home.
I think being surrounded by people working out is useful.
Yeah, but even then,
Like
like if I got
it
someone
gives
over to do a workout with me and I was still at home, I just wouldn't be the biggest fan. Like, still am, and
yeah
I guess I don't know.
like as in even I think it's just hard to do in at a home environment. Same how people are finding it hard to work at home. Sometimes it's just hard,
Yeah,
and there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I do find though, like when I was going to the gym before the whole thing happened, like there's a couple times, especially last year now, where it was really sunny for some of the days, and you'd go in and the place would just be alive. Like not necessarily packed. Like yeah, it could be packed, but like the energy of like of everybody was just so positive, and you could
electric.
almost feel it. Like yeah, like you were positive because the sun was out. Everybody else was positive, and even if they didn't have a smile on their face, for some reason, me being happy about the weather and the weather just being nice, I felt that everybody was just in good spirits. It just
Yeah,
felt that, and then it like crossed over with everybody. Now I'm not very spiritual, but as when it comes to weather, I know it's the best for making environments feel so good and so like bright because literally and figuratively, um,
yeah,
because people are just so much happier with the sun out, even if they don't show it. You just get the feeling that the place you're in is really good and has a really good environment and a really happy one. So
yeah. Go
that's
back to what
that.
you're saying about people not finding it easy to work at home. I like to think that even working at home can be a bit easier than keeping a full-on workout routine for just one reason, and it's that you can
You
make
have a job to do
not
and you can
even
make
you
money
can
from it.
make where you work a workspace. You can make it an office.
That's true.
You can't turn your weights in your bedroom to a gym. You can, as in, what I'm saying
Mm.
is, you can simulate a working environment. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
alone and it's a lot harder, but you can still get some work done. Whereas
yeah,
when it
and
comes to
I think
working out, like it's you know, there's no environment to make.
yeah,
You're just kind of left with your imagination, I guess.
yeah, but I think when it comes to working at home as well,
Same
is that
thing though.
you have a responsibility to do, and somebody is you have somebody to do something. You have to do something for somebody. You know, there's
Yeah,
somebody above you that's wanting you to do this and needing you to do this. Whereas when you're working out, you can just go.
you're your own boss. It's the hard part,
The
isn't it?
only yeah you're your own boss. I can't even speak. You're your own boss, and if you don't want to do it, the only person it's going to affect is you. And if you have the attitude of nah, I don't really care, then it's not going to affect you at all. Maybe physically because you're not getting a workout, but like you're not going to care. So I think having somebody that you need to do something for makes it a lot easier. Like if you're self-employed, it's a bit harder to work from home because same, you're your own boss. You're at home, you would rather just go into the sitting room and watch a show, whereas you can't do that when you're in work because you can't just go into the next room to watch TV because you're in a
It's not, yeah,
workspace.
it's that, like, you know, discipline as well, but it's also if you were in an office with other people, even if they're all complaining about being there, it's better than being alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's just loneliness with people, like people that were like kind of a human, not human, what would you say? Humans are kind of like, they thrive off community, so
Yeah.
being
And
alone is fucking hard.
yeah, and like I've been doing a lot of design work now being at home. It started up again recently and you know, I am my own boss, but I also have somebody to answer to. So it kind of helps, having somebody else. Like whereas if I just I've classified this myself. I've called it the hobby attention disorder, where I find it really hard to stick with a hobby. Um, I may come back to it, but I will stop. Whether that be designing, making music, you know, um, literally whatever. I also find it with music sometimes if I listen to a song too much, but that's pretty much everyone has that. I get like bored of it. But the the fact that like I can't put all my energy into a hobby when I have a job to do, I find it so much easier.
Yeah, I get that. When you have a job, your hobbies become hobbies, not work, kind of thing.
Yeah, like me designing recently, right? I've been designing a lot, and it is because it's not just myself making up my own companies and making my own logos that are random. I actually have a job to do. I have to get this done by this deadline and I have to send it out and it has to be good for a client. It makes it easier for me to work because I'm like someone's relying on me. It's
Yeah.
not just me messing about um in a program trying to make up this random
I feel
logo.
you could keep onto your hobbies better if you were to kind of set times to which you do them and not do too much of it, so you can look
Yeah,
forward to it. You know,
I
like
know I know there's a YouTuber called Gami and he makes beats and he said that one of the best pieces of advice he'd have is to just make one beat a day, even if it's bad.
uh,
Just make it because
oh yeah, to get better, I suppose. But
it's to get better, it's
in,
to get practice. It also it inspires creativity because eventually you'll get a better mindset for creating and you'll get a better mindset
yeah,
for
like you want to do it
kind
every day.
that's unique. Yeah.
Even if you were to start off not as deep ended, you could just do it a couple times a week. Set times that you're gonna make music or something. So then you can look
Yeah.
forward to it and think about what you're going to do with that. Because let's say you're like, I have an idea for a beat. You open it like FL and you start doing it. Rather than that, you have an idea for a beat. You write it down and you do it when you do it. You do it when you're supposed to. You kind of build
Yeah.
this excitement towards it, and that keeps the positive connotations to your hobby, and it'll keep you going back to it. Because, mm, you know, like when you sign up for anything that isn't online, you do it like certain times a week.
Yeah.
You don't get to do it whenever you want. But you still look forward to it. Why? Because you don't get to do it whenever you want. It's kind of
It's true.
it's the same for a
Just
lot
like
of
this
things, really.
podcast.
Yeah,
How?
exactly. You get to look forward to this because every Thursday it will be put out and recorded
Exactly.
on
What's our runtime actually?
55 minutes and 50 seconds.
55 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be wrapping up soon, so I suppose.
Yeah, but before we wrap
I
up,
suppose.
give my
Yeah.
life pro tip of the day. It's on this
You
website.
had a catchy name yesterday.
Hmm?
Something about advice. Can't
Oh,
remember what it
yeah,
was.
it's my daily dose of life advice.
There you go.
Yes, thank you. It's from this website called Reddit. Have you heard of it?
What's that? I've
R
never
E
heard
D
of. I've
D
never
I
heard of it.
T. It's this cool website. People post things on it, and there's different communities. I don't personally use it, but oh, we're
Is that
stealing
like
bits now.
Facebook?
We're stealing bits. This is scandalous.
Go on. What's our daily dose of life advice?
Let me pull it up here. Um, Daily dose of life advice. This could work too for tying in with routines. Don't treat cleaning as a chore, but as a gift to yourself of the kind of environment you are happy to live in. So
Can, can I
change your perspective on having a chore. Go on.
can I have a rebuttal? I don't really mind sometimes if there's a bit of a mess.
No,
But I suppose I'm not living by myself. So I suppose if I had my own place, it was my kitchen, and I wanted to cook in the kitchen,
it's
I'd
different
clean
to
it
your
because
room. You know.
yeah, because my room is like it's my room. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I suppose if I had my own kitchen, my own sitting room, I'd want it to be clean.
Yeah. So like it's a good way. It's a nice refreshing perspective for anything. It's kind of mindfulness it ties into. It's like
Yeah,
don't you? Oh, I have to clean. Think of why you clean and
yeah. And
how that will make you feel.
I will admit if you clean something like really well, like one day I just was like, that's it, and I just got up and cleaned my entire room, like scrubbed every single square inch of it, got rid of boxes I didn't need, got rid of things I just did not need there, and I put them away. And I'll tell you, it made my it made me feel so good being in such a clean room, having such a an empty desk where like it was just the things I need and not just random stuff that I just threw there when I didn't need it.
Yeah, I need to do that again. I need to follow my own daily dose of life advice.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Well, I suppose we'll wrap up. Well,
There's the dog.
at Chat Lab Podcast, Twitter.
If you're checking us out on
Yeah,
YouTube, we do have a Spotify.
and there we go. That's it.
See you next week.